Hi everyone, it's Bethany, and in this video we are going to be making some cute little trick-or-treating totes, and I'm really excited because this is going to be all about glitter. And usually you don't see a lot of glitter on my channel because I'm not a fan of big messes, but glitter HTV has really stolen my heart because it's super clean to work with and it looks super stunning when it's applied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using 4 different colors of glitter HTV, and I'm really excited to show you the colors because they're so pretty. This first one actually came in my mystery box that I unboxed for September, and it was my very first mystery box, and let me tell you, that box really inspired me with a lot of projects because some of the materials in there were just gorgeous. So I believe this is a copper color, and then this is called Galaxy, and I just ordered this from Expressions Vinyl. It's a black glitter. It's very, very pretty. And then I can't remember the exact colors, but I got these both at Expressions Vinyl as well. This is like a rosé, I think maybe, or might be just the pink color, but I'm sorry, I cannot remember the actual color. And then this is like a teal color, so I'm going to be using those two as well. So we're going to be using 4 rolls of glitter, and then I'm going to be using these tiny little totes, but I wanted them to be big enough in case we got a lot of candy this year, because Mama likes to take a mama tax with candy, and my kids are still super little, so they like to share. So we call it the mama candy tax. But I got these little bags at Hobby Lobby, and they were $1.99, and they're just called a canvas tote. So I have 2 of those. They're a nice little white bag, and then I have a weeding tool and some scissors, and I have my little polka dot heat press mat because we're also going to be using the 9x9 EasyPress. So before we hop into design space, let's go ahead and measure out how much space we have to work with. So the totes are about 11 inches by, let's say, 8. Yeah, let's say about 8 inches. So we have that much room to play with. And before we head into design space, let's do our little question of the day. These have been really, really fun to do and read. So while I'm crafting today, wow, this is really perfect. You guys, I do not curate the questions because as you see, they are just floating in here. But this is perfect. Okay, the question today is, if you have a sweet tooth, what is your favorite candy bar? You guys, could that be not more perfect for this whole video? Okay, we're doing little trick-or-treat totes, and we're talking about candy, and the question is about candy. Okay, so when you have a sweet tooth, or if you have a sweet tooth, what's your favorite candy bar? Okay, pop down into the comments and let me know your favorite candy bar, and we will hop into design space. We will get to designing and putting our little design on these little totes with all this glitter. Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space, and this is the little design I'm going to be using. I bought this on designbundles.com. I thought it would be really, really cute, and we're going to be using it for the little bags today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down here, and I am going to actually contour out the little line and the dot and the dot and the line. They're really, really cute, but for this particular project, I don't really want them there because I'm going to be adding some candy around here, and I think the little lines and the dots are just going to make it too busy. So for this project, I'm just going to remove that part of the design. So I just clicked the parts of the design that I did not want to keep in the contour box, and then I have my design exactly how I like it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to make 2 different totes. So I'm going to make them kind of coordinate, but I want to make them a little bit different. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come over to the images, and I am going to hide that. I was working on another project. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and search all images, and the first thing I am going to search is candy. So I'm going to go ahead and browse through here. You can imagine there are so many different options for candy. I think I'm going to do this. And then let's see, what else do I want to do? There are so many cute ones, but I want to do, I like this candy corn. We have to do a little candy corn, and I'm just clicking on them, and as I click them, they're adding to this little bottom queue down here, and that allows me to just keep scrolling and keep clicking and keep finding all of the images that I would like to work with. Okay, this as well. That one's really sweet. And let's try one more. How about this right here? Okay, so I think I have all of the candy that I would like. And the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to come up here and type in pumpkin. And gotta spell that right. There we go, pumpkin. And let's see. a lot of different options, but I'm going to choose this little guy right here. And then the last thing I'm going to type in is bow. And there are lots of options for bows, but I am going to select this right here. Okay, so I have all my selections down here. So I'm going to go ahead and say insert images, and everything is going to pop into our canvas. So I'm going to place the bow over here. I'm going to place the candy all over here. And then I'm going to place the pumpkin over here because these two are going to be a separate little design. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our little totes and make our little tote template here so that we know how big we can make our little designs. Okay, so they were about 11 by 8, so I'm just going to come over to a little square here, and I'm going to unlock it, come up to my width and type in 11, and then for my height I'll do 8. And this is just going to let me know what my tote size really looks like so I can just start playing around with my designs. So I'll make my tote a white color, and then let me go ahead and make my canvas a different color so that it's just a little different from what we're working with. So we can go ahead and make it like an orange since we're doing a little fall design here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and send this all the way to the back, that way, because that's our base material. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring my little trick or treat in here, and that's almost looking pretty perfect for my bag. Okay, so I'm going to do right about there. So I'm about 5 inches in height. Okay, and then I'm going to bring over my little candies. So I'm just going to size these down a little bit, bring them over. Okay, and I'm just kind of placing them where I'd like them. Okay, and I want one more candy corn, so I'm going to select my candy corn and I'm going to say duplicate right over here. I just duplicated that, and I'm going to bring one more right here. And you can see why I removed the little dot and line part of that image is because I just wanted to surround the little trick or treat words with candy. I thought that would look really neat. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this little guy over here. And I'm going to be cutting this little guy out of that teal color. So I am going to make that blue color. I think that will look really nice. We'll make that just about that size. Okay, and then I'm also going to be using teal for this one as well. So we'll size this down just about like this. Okay, and then we will make this teal. Now, it's important to make your color selections right now because then it will place your little images on the correct mat when it comes to cutting. So I know it kind of seems weird in design space to be making color selections, but it actually is super important because then your Cricut knows which image you want cut on which colored material. And then this is going to be out of that pink glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and make this the pink. And I think that is good for my first little bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select this entire thing and I am going to bring it over here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the square, which is now a rectangle, but it's still labeled square. I'm going to duplicate that and bring it over here so I can work on my second little bag. Go ahead and send that to the back. Okay, so I'm going to bring my little pumpkin here and I'm going to make it probably about 5.5 inches, I would say. That looks pretty good to my eye. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to this trick or treat. I'm going to duplicate it. Again, it's at the top of the layers panel, that duplicate button. And I'm going to bring it over here. And I'm going to unlock it so that I can just kind of drag it and make it a little bit smaller to fit within this little pumpkin. So I'm going to go just like this. And then I'm going to, holding my shift button, I'm going to select the pumpkin and then my little trick or treat. And I am going to come up here and I am going to say align and I'm going to center it and see what that does. Okay, let's not do that. Let's go back. And I'm going to say, let's see, select both of them, align, and I'm going to say center horizontally. Okay, let's do that. That looks better. So now, if you'll notice, this pumpkin is double layered, so I don't need this back layer. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete that. And then I'm going to send this, move this backward, that way I can still see my trick or treat. And I'm going to select my pumpkin. I'm going to select the trick or treat.
And I'm going to come down here and say slice. The slice button is right down here at the bottom of the layers panel on the very left. I'm going to say slice. And now what it did is it sliced those letters out of my pumpkin. So now it's just going to have the pumpkin with the letters sliced out of it. And I thought that would look really cute. Okay, then the final thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make this, let's see, do I want to do the teal color? I think that will be really cool. I was trying to decide if I want to do teal or pink for my pumpkin, but I think, I'm going to do pink. I think that will look really, really cute, and it'll look really girly too. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my little bow in, and I'm going to select my bow again and say move to front. Okay, so now I'm just going to get my bow. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bow, I'm going to duplicate it really quick and hold it off to the side. Then I'm going to select this bow, select my shift button, and select the pumpkin. So I have my pumpkin and my bow selected. You can only slice 2 layers at a time, so I have 2 layers, 1, 2. Click the slice button here, and now I'm going to just remove that little area where my bow can be. Because the reason I want to do this is because I do want my bow to be on the actual canvas tote. I don't want to layer it on top of the other one. For me, I just like it to be actually touching the fabric. So I'm just going to do it like that so that there's just a little cutout, and then I can place my bow right in there. Okay, so that looks really good. So now for the bow, I think I'm going to cut that out of the teal. So I'm going to go ahead and select the teal for that. I think that will look really, really cute. Okay, so I think everything is sized how I like it. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide these little rectangle bases, and I'm left with my designs. So now I can go ahead, I have my Explorer 2 selected, I'm going to say make it, and it's going to go ahead and place them on the mats that I'm going to have them. So the first mat is that black mat, the second is going to be the trick or treat, and then one of the candies. So it says trick or treat pumpkin, one of the candies. The third mat is 2 little candy corns. I'm just going to drag them apart a little bit so that I can place, and I can put that a little bit closer to save some material. And then I'm just dragging these apart just a little bit so I can cut in between. In fact, I think it might be even better to save material this way. For me, if I have just this much to work with, it gives a lot more extra, in my opinion, or for how I craft. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is go through and mirror each of my mats because I'm working with HTV or iron-on, so you want to always, always mirror. Okay, double checking, and then I'm going to click continue. So now it's just going to locate my Explorer 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to select glitter iron-on, and we are going to make sure that our material is face shiny side down on the mat, and we're going to go ahead and place it on our mat, set it through the machine, and get it all cut.
Okay, so I have my glitter iron-on here, and I have this one in a really long roll, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and place it all on my mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure it's that shiny side down on the mat because our image is mirrored. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten that out just like this. Okay, and then I have my brayer tool here that I like to use. And I'm just going to really make sure that that is flattened down on the mat here. Okay, so now I'll just go ahead and send that through my machine. Again, I have my machine set to custom for my Explorer 2, and then I had selected glitter iron-on as my setting in Cricut Design Space. Okay, so that first one is already done. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this from my mat. The next mat that it is calling for is the pink. So I will go ahead and grab my pink color and place that on the mat. And what I'll do is I will go ahead and do all of the cuts real quick, and then we will start weeding. So I'm just going to watch Design Space. It will tell me exactly which mat and which color to load next. That way I can make sure everything is cut out on the appropriate color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on my EasyPress. I'm going to set the temperature for 320, and then the time I'm going to set my timer for is 15 seconds. So it says 10 to 15 seconds. I usually go for a little bit longer, so I do the 15 seconds. I'm going to let that preheat, and then we will get to weeding all of our little pieces. Okay, so now I have my little pieces that I can get weeded out. So I'm going to grab my little weeding tool here, and I am going to just pierce the corner here. And now we can really see what that glitter is like. It is gorgeous. I love it. There's a lot of other colors in this black, so it's not just a flat black. There's a lot of different colors inside, and it just looks really, really pretty. This is my first time actually using this color, but I quickly purchased it after I got my mystery box because I was inspired by the copper glitter. This is the one that came in the mystery box, and knew that I would want to make some little trick-or-treat bags that were just really fun. Okay, so the question of the day was totally fitting for this video. It was what your favorite candy bar is. Okay, so I would say I'm trying to like amend the question, so I'm going to make it more about like trick-or-treating. So I would say growing up, what I got really, really excited about in my trick-or-treat bag was Tootsie Rolls. Those still make me so, so happy. That was just my little EasyPress beeping because it is preheated. So Tootsie Rolls, I think, are one of those things that I just love, love, love. But a candy bar, if I had to answer the question accurately, I love Butterfingers, I think. Those are so good. Oh my goodness, they're so good. So I always, every year, we've only been trick-or-treating for a few years now because our kids are super little, but every year I really like finding those two things. I like the Tootsie Rolls and the Butterfingers. Okay, so that is the first little one in the black. It looks really, really good. I'm just collecting my little scraps right over here. Okay, so I can just kind of turn that over. I'll do this little orange piece next, and this is very, very easy to weed. So I'm just pulling off my surrounding area. It's probably easier to see on that scrap piece how beautiful that copper color is. It's just so pretty. I did a whole tutorial, and I'll link it here. I did a Halloween countdown sign with this copper color and just a regular black color as well, and it turned out really pretty. So I've already seen how pretty this color is in action, and I love it. Okay, so I have the little candy corns all weeded out, and they look great as well. Okay, so I'll set those to the side. This is our pumpkin, and I'm excited to see this pink. This is my first time working with this pink color too, and it is so pretty. Oh my goodness, so pretty. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, we have a little candy as well. Forgot that was in there. And now remember, we have our little words in here, and I just kind of hold it up at an angle to kind of see where to start. And then I just kind of start pulling out my little letters here. So there's the trick. Still have a little bit of that T in there. There we go. And then I have a little dot to my eye right around there. Okay, so I got my trick, and then my oar right here. Oops, that was the middle. Okay, well, I'll hold that to the side and I'll put that right back on. Okay, just the surrounding edge. I'll put my little middle part right back in there. Sometimes that happens, and it's no big deal. Just put it right back in, press it down. We are good to go. Okay, and then the oar. I'll be a little bit more careful here because you're doing the opposite. You are removing the letter and leaving the middle. Or normally we're weeding out the middle pieces. Okay, that one came out really, really nice. Okay, so here we go. And then we have the treat right about here. Okay, so just grabbing, there we go. The treat, there we go. Easy peasy. Being gentle, but okay. we have our little trick or treat. You guys will see a little bit more contrast of that when we get that on the white bag, but that looks great. So what I will do is I will just trim off this little candy right here. Place that to the side. That way we don't accidentally, I could totally see myself actually pressing that onto my bag by accident. So I'll do that while I'm thinking of it. And then this one is our little bow plus a lot of other pieces of candy. Okay. I think the glitter is really gratifying to weed because you can really see how it's going to look once you get it off of that carrier sheet or that built-in transfer sheet. Okay, so then we got the middles of our bow here. So now I can just trim these apart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Design Space on my device again, and I just used mine on my computer. So I'm going to open it up again. That way I can see my designs, and I will know exactly where to place my little pieces around my design. So what I'll do is grab my little scraps and clean them up, and then I will get my heat press mat out and get pressing. Okay, so I have my little bag here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to just lint roll it really quick, just because I see a couple little fuzzies on there, probably from my puppy. Okay, and then once I have that all cleaned up, I'm going to bring my little press in here, and I can just preheat the material. So I'm going to preheat this for about 5 seconds, and just remove any moisture, and also more importantly for me is to make sure it is nice and flat because wrinkles really bother my eye. I'm also going to flatten this little area down here, that way there's not a crease in here, just so that my heat press lays really, really flat in this area. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of put my bag just like that. Okay, first one I'm going to do is this trick or treat. It'll look really, really nice, just like this. Okay, so you can measure it if you'd like. I usually have really good luck just eyeballing it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then my settings, I'm going to go ahead and bring those up. I looked them up on the Expressions Vinyl website, and I'm just going to make sure there's one little piece here. Let's see. Just making sure I don't have a piece that I don't want on my design here. I think it's just a piece of glitter. Must be just a really chunky piece of glitter. Okay, so that is fine. So I went ahead and looked up on Expressions Vinyl website. It's 320, 10 to 15 seconds, and a warm peel with firm pressure. So I'm going to go ahead, grab my press, and I'm going to lay it over my design. And I'm going to do 15 seconds, and again, it's firm pressure, so I'm going to really press into my heat press here. Okay, so that is done. So I'm going to go ahead, lift that up. Now it did say warm peel, so I'm just going to set this off to the side so it cools down a little bit from this hot heat press mat. I can grab my second little bag and get that going. Again, I'm going to just bring this piece down. That way I just have a really nice flat piece. So I'm just basically opening up the bag, if you will, on the bottom. Preheat this for about 5 seconds just to make sure there's no moisture. And I'm just starting on the second bag to make good use of my time, because while this is cooling down, I can get another one pressed. So I'm going to go ahead, place this right there. That is really cute. I'm glad I did the pink. My girls will love that too. Okay, that looks good. Place it right on top again. And firm pressure for 10 to 15 seconds. I tend to do the longer of the two. Okay, so that was 15 seconds for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side, bring this over, and I can go ahead and peel away. I'm monitoring to make sure I don't see any lifting, which I don't, so that looks great. Okay, so that is perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'll set that to the side, and I'm going to bring up my design space, and I'm going to start placing my little candies. Oh, this one needs a little bit of weeding out. Let me weed this out really quick. Have a little couple pieces in here. I thought this was going to be cuter than it needed to be. Okay, so I'm just trimming down some of my pieces. That one's all weeded now, and I'm going to place them on my design here. So I'll just trim these apart, and I had one right here. It's really, really cute. I might move that over just a little bit. Okay, and then this little one was right here, and this right here. Okay, so that looks really, really good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place my protective sheet right back over my black glitter. That way it doesn't expose that glitter to the bottom of my heat press. And I'll just recover that. That way everything is covered. I'm going to go ahead and apply my heat once more. And then firm pressure once again. Okay, I'm going to lift that up, and then just for a little bit of added insurance, I'm going to flip mine over, and I'm just going to press again. So it doesn't say to do this in the directions or anything, but I do this with my t-shirts, so I'm just going to make sure that it's really on there. Okay, and then what I'll do is I will set this off to the side, let that cool down for the warm peel. And then this can come back over. We can peel this right up. And then we can place our bow right in there. And it fits just perfectly because we sliced that out. Place this right back over the top to protect it. And press for the 15 seconds. Okay, so now we'll just let this cool as well, and we will get everything peeled up. I'm going to go ahead actually and do the back of this real quick, and then we'll get it all peeled up. Okay, so probably should be a little bit careful around the handles, but mine were just fine, but I probably would advise you just to be a little bit careful about your heat press around those. Just monitor it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let these cool for a second, and we'll peel them up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take the top, and the other carrier sheets are going to probably come up with it. So this is just all peeling all at once with the little tiny carrier sheets on there. But this one, it turned out really pretty. All the glitter and all of the little glam there. That's really, really cute. I love that. This is a project that will continue to encourage me to use glitter because they just turn out really, really neat. And then this one, the other one already came off, and I'll just take this little bow off. I love how that bow just nuzzles right into there. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I really, you guys, went back and forth with the doing, I think first I was going to do the orange, and then I just could not decide, but the pink really looks amazing. That looks so sweet. I love how these turned out. All right, everyone, if you think these turned out cute, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Another thing to remind you of, just in case you are just joining in right now, is on November 1st, I'm going to start a 15-day gift guide with my Cricut. So I'm going to be making 15 gifts that I can give to friends and family with my Cricut for 15 days in a row. So if you're new here, be sure you stick around by subscribing, and you guys can be inspired with how to use your Cricut to do really nice gifts for your friends and family this year. All right, everyone, let me know what fall crafts you are doing. I'll go ahead and place my fall playlist that I have started up in the corner. That way, if you have not seen some of the other fall crafts that I am going to be doing, then you can be inspired by those as well, and they'll all be in one spot. All right, everyone, don't forget to answer the question of the day, and I will see you all in the next video.